You're asking me
Yes, sir.
if you're going to paint along?
Oh, wow.
Well, we should do a canvas that you can finish in one session. So
Well, it's okay. I'd like to kind of wing it and see what I can do and paint along if I can. I'm probably going to do acrylic even though you're doing oil. But if you can suggest any color palette or anything, I'm gonna give it a go.
oh yeah, I'll suggest a palette. I'll suggest it this evening, and I have a materials list. So I could. Was gonna start with the palette. So you want me to get started and tell you what I'm going to do here tonight?
I don't see why not. Go for it.
Okay, here we go.
Rick, but I think we're okay.
So I'm going to paint this floral. These are blue and white hydrangeas. And I have the light coming from the left, so I'm illuminating the white hydrangea. See, the lightest object should be in the lightest light. And the darker objects go away, see, from the light. So that's the basic premise of the classical approach. But we're going to talk about space, light, and atmosphere, light effect, color, form, and composition. So I want to tell you about my palette first. And I know some of you already know this, but you know, I lay it out from light to dark, from the yellows, cadmium, lemon, yellow, yellow light, deep, orange, and we go around. See in the middle of the palette, I have yellow ochre and cadmium orange. And this is the middle of the palette right here, between light and dark. And once we know that, we can really, well, we can paint anything. So we go below yellow ochre into cadmium red light value. That's in the middle tone, the middle range. And then below that, we're in the shadow. So if we can think about the middle, from the middle on up, we're painting light. And then you go below that, then we're out of light. That's a big thing. So I mixed cadmium, well, I mixed ivory black and titanium white. I made a series of grays, and the grays here correspond to the middle of the palette, which is yellow, ochre, and orange. That's the value. And then this is cad yellow light value. This is cad red medium value, and this is around cobalt blue rhomber value here. So we, at least if we have some kind of a range, the grays will control the intensity of the color, and they also turn edges, and I'll talk about all that. So I think when I start this painting, I'm going to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing on the canvas, and then I'll switch back to the setup. So I have the setup in a box so I can control the light. Okay, we'll go over here now. And so you just get going on this thing. So I've seen, you know, I have the vase, and then I have the height of the flowers. So first of all, I'm going to put a line down here right off the bat, right on my canvas. This is a toned canvas, and I like to have it like a dark, not dark, but like a pinkish color. This is cad red light, but you could put terra rosa, anything with a warm red or warm pink, because that'll come through and give it luminosity and depth. So here, this is going to be the floral right here. So the vase is a little shorter than the height of the flowers, and actually that's a good idea. A lot of the time, you know, the height of the flowers might be 1 1/3 the height of the vase, but it's always better if they're a little bit higher. So let's just sketch this in with charcoal. This is soft charcoal, vine charcoal. So I just want to get an idea here. You remember, because I always say that our subject is meant to inspire us. See, we're not copying this. We're letting it inspire what we're going to do with it, see? So we have a nice rhythm going here. And these hydrangeas, they're like spheres. So let's think of the sphere. We have to determine what shape we're painting, first of all, and then where's the light coming from? So the light's coming from the left, and it's coming this way, see? So if we can answer those two questions, we've answered a lot. I mean, we've really taken care of the biggest problem. So I'm going to do a rhythm like this. The light will travel around and blast right here, and then I have a leaf right there. Keep it fluid, keep the motion in the still life. So once I've done that, I want to fix the drawing. So I'm going to fix it with some blue. This is ultramarine blue. I'm just going to thin it. You can thin it with a little turpentine or a little bit of medium. And just want to go over that charcoal so I don't lose my idea here. And this is coming that way. This is going that way. The brush stroke should follow the form. Okay, now I can brush that off. I'll take a soft brush and just get rid of my charcoal. And that'll be my composition. So I want to take a look at this background. I'm gonna move the camera.
I just have to say that was magic. I made like a sound when you did that. That was magic. You just brushed your charcoal off with a soft brush?
Yes, a soft brush, very soft.
Wow.
And now,
okay, that was magic.
See, look at this background. You see, there are two movements of light here. It's dark over here, and it's lighter over here. So there's a horizontal movement from dark to light. And then we go from light down to dark. That's a vertical movement. So that's a big way to get depth. That's very important in getting depth in the background. So let's do that. And I pre-mixed my background color. It's a cool green, so I used phthalo green, a little bit of lemon yellow, and some dark gray. So let's put the dark in first. It goes right here. You always do the background first, because then you can see your subject. There are reasons for things. If we know the reason, then I think it's easier to paint. We're not just winging it, So we're going dark. I'm going to go dark to light, light to dark. So I'm going to put some more dark down here. Always tone your canvas. Because, white is too glaring. You can't really see a value very well on white. It's good to experiment with different colors. You can try blue, try gray, try green, try umber, anything. So here's a lighter green and gray. See, I keep the background cool because the leaves are going to be a very warm green. It's going to have more yellow in it. So I want the background to go back. backgrounds are important. You know, you could, you could have a red background, but it still has to be cool. You have to cool it with like a pale blue or something, with some gray. See, so we'll get a progression. See, dark to light, light to dark. And it's good to have a nice big brush. This has a stain on it. There's another one here. There's one. Let's take one of these. And then let's blend it. Okay. Okay, that's the background. Now, see what I'd like to do is block in each area. We'll block in each flower with their middle tone. So this is where the grays come in. So I'll get some ultramarine blue. Let me point this out here. Get some ultramarine blue, mix it with some gray. And get a little cobalt blue with gray. You know, then just gonna put a little gray in everything. And that'll be my middle tone. So, you know, every object has to have three values: the light, the middle, and the dark. So we'll start with the middle, then we'll build our lights, and then we'll build our darks, and then the whole thing should come to life. So we'll just determine what the local color is here. So that's ultramarine, and what that comes out to look like. You know, whenever I paint flowers, I pre-mix my light, middle, and dark value. Then I can just paint. You don't have to stop and mix it, you just go ahead and paint. So we'll put that in. And what I did, I'd see the next flower is a little bit lighter, and this is lighter, and it goes right into the white. There's some cobalt blue. So the ultramarine has more red in it than cobalt. We're losing yellow, just like in the landscape. You know, when you go into the distance, you lose yellow. Things become fuller, bluer. We'll block this one in. This has a little bit of a turquoise in it, so I've got some cobalt with some, some cerulean blue. So we'll just block this in. Just keep it flat. That's the thing. We want to keep it flat right now, and then we'll develop the form. So you got to squint your eyes too to see the light. I'll give you a close-up of this once I block it in. And stay with the biggest brushes you can in the beginning. And then we get smaller and more detailed towards the finish. Here's a gray. This is just black and white here. And we're going to block in the white flower. Gray. I'm going to cover this whole canvas. So we're not painting in pieces. Okay. Okay, so you know, now this base is basically gray. We'll use my black and white mixtures here. And I'll find a middle for that base. And I'll block it in. Have to be pretty accurate with this drawing here. You know, with the vase. Nothing worse than a lopsided vase. Lock it in. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to paint. And this is one way. This is the way I like. And there's a shadow behind that vase on the table here. But before I put the shadow in, I'll put the color of the table. I'm just going to put yellow over it. This is just pure ochre right out of the tube. And you know what? It's going to be a nice complement to the blue, because I could even later I'll put a little bit of red in it. Make it look a little bit orange, which would be even a better complement to the blue. There's some raw umber with some dead red light in it. This could be my warm shadow. Shadows are warm. Shadows indoors are warm. That's just something we know. You know, we paint what we know. We paint what we see, but we paint what we know. And I quote Robert Beverly Hale all the time. He said, first you paint what you see, then you paint what you know, and then you see what you know. A lot of times, a lot of painting has to do with painting what you know. That way you're not copying, but we know the flower is a sphere, right? You know, we know that vase is an egg shape. Those are things we have to think about. But I made some green here. The greens are really important. There's no green in a tube that doesn't have to be altered in some way. You can't just use it out of the tube. So this is a mixture of cadmium lemon yellow, ultramarine blue, and I have some gray in it to control the intensity. So see, I'm covering the whole canvas. That's the whole aim right now. So I think I got it covered pretty well. I'm going to give you a close up here. See if this will work, okay? You see the subtle variations there?
Yeah.
And it's all flat. You gotta keep it flat.
Can I ask you a question about your tone canvas?
Yeah.
Was the paint still wet when you started for the tone background?
No, it's dry.
Dry.
I toned them beforehand. I'll tone several at one time. You could tone it, you know, you could even use watercolor. And it dries very quickly, or use turpentine, and it'll take a day or two. Just to stain it. That's all you want to do, just stain it. So, okay, I'm going to build the lights. I'll try to get closer here. See if that works. Okay, so see my big light is here. It's blasting right there, and then it's going to go away, go away, go away, go away. So, see now this is the point where we'll take a brush where I can shape the petals. It's already, you know, going to be drawing with the brush. The thing about flowers is, we have to paint this texture. This texture, it's not easy. You want it to be soft looking. You don't want it to be hard looking. So I'm going to take white, titanium white, and a little bit of lemon yellow. And we'll start to build this. See, the brightest light is in the inside the form, not on the edge. By the way, titanium white and flake white are the best whites to use. Zinc white, it'll actually crack. So I know they're a mixture like permalba and half and half titanium and zinc, but the restorers say it's a nightmare because the zinc will make it crack. It might take several years that it will crack. Titanium white covers really well. See, lead white is very flexible. That's why you can see old master paintings, and a lot of times there are no cracks in them. So, technique and materials are important. You want a painting to outlast you, I think we all do. I don't know if you can see that. That's coming out now. And then see now I'll go away from the light. We'll pick up some light over here. So I have some light blue with white. Just get a nice thick stroke. When you paint any area that's opaque, if any area that's in the light, really, put a lot of paint on the brush. I kept my middle tones fairly thin. And so we're going away. And then we're going to go back this way. And see the light catching the top here, top of this. I set it up this way. As artists, we control the light. And we decide where we want our viewer to look in the painting, in the way we paint the light. So now I'm going around. So you're going this way, and I know this is a sphere, so it's catching here. But I'm not painting every petal. I'm not really painting the impression or the idea of the hydrangea. It's not impressionism. I don't want to say that because it isn't. Realism today has gotten too hard boiled. Painting every little blade of grass or every little petal. We have to stick with the big ideas. The bigger the idea and the bigger the mass, the stronger the paint. So, okay, let's look at some darks here. See, there's a nice shadow cast by the white flower onto the blue flower. So I can go to ultramarine blue with the darker gray. See? So this is my third value. Start with the middle, and hit some light, then we'll hit some dark. And in this way we create form and we create depth. That's space, light, atmosphere. The hardest thing is to get the atmosphere. But to tell you, one way to think about atmosphere is to watch the edges on an object as it disappears into the background or comes out from the background. It'll disappear here. So you call that lost edge. And then it's found here in the light, it's a little sharper. Okay. Okay, so that's going that way. And I'm going to continue with the dark with this flower. You see how it helps the white flower come forward. Like that. And then we're going underneath the flower. So there's a shadow under there. So, you know, as long as we keep thinking form, we can paint this. It's the same with the tree. You go under the tree and you paint the shadow under the tree and you create form. So there that goes. Now let's look at the white flower right in here. I could go darker. So let's get a dark gray. I'm going to put a tiny bit of green in just to give it some more color, a little more depth. And so we'll go underneath here. You know, I'm talking about 3 planes here, but we're going to end up putting really five planes of light when we're all finished. Because there'll be reflected lights and highlights. So this is my dark. So we have light, middle, dark. See, and I'm squinting my eyes the whole time. So if I can close down the light, that's the whole point of that. You know, so it helps you to see the light, really. Okay, see now as I go around, I need to get some shadow over here. You're going to push that back. I've got some cobalt. Make it turquoise with the gray, with the dark gray. See, if as long as I put the dark gray in it, I'll control the intensity of that color. So it's not too bright or too garish, you know. Once, you know, if you learn the principles of light and form and atmosphere, you can paint it, really. You can paint any subject. You can do a still life, do a nice still life, do a nice landscape. There's a lot more to landscape because of the colors and the progressions, the sky progressions and the, you know, the foreground to distance progressions and all that. But let's stick to our form. See, it's going around. And we're gonna build this too, build the light on the leaf there. But let's just keep doing that. And model that with the dry brush. You do your modeling with the dry brush, so I can let the background float into that flower and make it disappear a little bit. Okay, coming along. We're moving along probably pretty fast. There we go. We're going this way. I think I'll build the light here on the leaf just to keep making the point of my rhythm of light. I'm going to give you another close up of the. Now I'm developing the form there. Okay. Trying to be smooth with that. Okay. Okay, let's look at the light on the leaf. So I mixed this is tricky. This is phthalo green with lemon yellow and white. You have to be so careful with phthalo green. See, there's barely any in this. That's one thing some painters overdo the phthalo green. You have to watch it. It's too strong. So see, that's relating to my rhythm. You know, try to make each stroke count at this point. You know, usually 1 or 2 strokes once you get the paint on the brush will be all you need. Don't keep pushing it around, because that's what kills the painting. It's always better to underdo it than overdo it. I'd rather it was really loosely painted than overcooked, you know. So see, here's a darker green. This is, I made this with lemon yellow and ultramarine blue and gray. Greens are so important. The ones in the tube are too cold. So if you use any green in a tube, you have to add yellow to it. So what I want this to come this way, and let's hit it right there. See, follow the light. Okay. Okay, before I do any more with those flowers, I'm going to talk about this vase. So I have my gray brush. I kept this separate. Sometimes it's good to keep these things separate, you know. I might have a green brush. I have a gray brush, you know, for the base. So it's going to be a little bit lighter here. This is catching really reflected light down here. We don't have any bright light. We do have it on the base. So let's build the light now. This is a porcelain vase. So, you know, if the highlight is white, that means the vase has to be darker than white. So it's going to be a bluish gray. You know, some white vases are cool, some are warm. This is cool. So I see blue in it. You know, some whites have ochre umber in them. So it's good to pay attention to that. So that's coming in there. I'm going to a lighter. This is a lighter gray now. It's going to come down here. And then it'll turn. There we go. I'll go that way. This is a nice effect. It comes around, it'll come right down there. And I'll show you what I'm building towards. Here's ochre. Here's ochre, white, and yellow. Add yellow. I'm going to build this too, right here. See? And then that'll blend out. You know, see, we're either going towards the light or away from the light. So if we go towards the light, we're getting brighter and warmer. Going away from the light, we're getting darker and cooler. So here's my idea. Okay, there's some nice principles we can talk about here. See, I have a warm light on this table and I have a warm shadow, and I need a cool in between those to create some depth and atmosphere. And that's where the grays come in. I'm going to show you with just pure gray what can happen here. But it'll blend with the ochre. And it'll cool it right there as it meets the warm shadow. And instantly it'll be very atmospheric. That's a principle they forgot a long time ago in the art schools. Okay, now I'm gonna darken this base right here to help create some depth. All I have to do is take some gray, put a little cobalt blue in it because it's a blue base. There's actually shadow cast from the leaf right here onto the base. So you have to paint the form before we can paint the design. If I'm doing a big painting, big floral, I'll paint the base, let it dry, and then put the design on. It's a lot easier. But to do a study, this is a good thing to do. Oftentimes I'll do a little painting like this. This is 11 by 14. I'll do a small study like this, work out my idea, and then I know where I want to go with the big one. And a little shadow there. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna make this flower a little bit bigger. Painting evolves. This kind of painting evolves. That's why I say we're not locked into filling in a drawing. But it's sort of like, it starts, kind of nebulous, kind of nothing, or in the fog, so to speak, and then you bring it into focus. That's the way I like to think about it. And it sure beats doing, one object and finishing it at a time. Try to bring the whole painting up simultaneously. But there's a lip on this base. There's a top to it. Something you probably can't see it. Maybe I can show you. There's a narrow lip, and then it comes around, and then it comes out. Okay, that's what it's doing. Okay, now let's take a look at the reflected light. Reflected lights always, they should have ochre in them, yellow ochre. Even a portrait, coming up under the chin should have ochre in it. So I'm going to put ochre and gray. Yellow ochre is a great color for reflected light. See, this is something we know. You know what though? If I had a red cloth here, I'd have red in there. But as a general rule, yellow ochre is perfect for our reflected lights, and it comes up under the lower half or lower third of the object. Doesn't go all the way up. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. Okay, see, I have this little brush. This is a, well, this is a sable. That was to be a number 5 from Rosemary Brushes in England. It's all it is a Kolinsky sable. You know, you can get Kolinsky sables from different people. And, I know Jerry's Artorama is some good quality materials. So we're going to take this sharper edge brush and just get some sharper petals, or just sharper touches on the petals. So see what I'm doing? I'm getting to it. This is how I begin to finish. I'll give you a close-up in a minute. You know, hydrangeas, they're spherical, but they're a little easier to paint than a peony. You know, peonies, people have trouble with peonies. So you have to, in a similar way, you have to keep it, reduce it down to the simplest form. See, that's coming out there now. We'll go a little bit into a cooler, maybe a cooler gray here. See, as we go away, get a little bit cooler. I'm taking the yellow out. So it's kind of touching here, touching there, let the setup there inspire me. Now I'm going to put some reflected light in with this brush. By the way, if you find that you can't get a sharp stroke with your oil medium, use turpentine to thin it, and then you'll get a real sharp stroke. So here's some ochre, some very light gray. Just like, you know, I put ochre on the base, I can put ochre flower back on the back edge of that flower. It's really neat. This is how we get the 5 planes of light. So what are the 5 planes? Light, shadow, middle tone, highlight, and reflected light. See how that comes out there. I think I'll put just a little more in there. Maybe right under here. Like that. Okay. Well, similarly, I'm going to go over here and get some sharper strokes. Just sharpen the edge on these petals. This is a really nice subject, you know. I don't know if any of you have painted blue hydrangea. You know, it's a great subject. I've done several paintings of blue. Okay, so it goes back. Then it's going to come over here. So we get the light, you know, a lot more light than the blue. And pick out some nice sharp touches. You see, I want your eye to go right around like that. You know, if you do a portrait, it's like Rembrandt. Look at a Rembrandt portrait. You know, where does he have you look? As you look around the eye. the eye of the person. So we control where the viewer looks. So we're going this way. Of course, I'm not going to go too much later, just a little bit more here. And I'm pulling out the light that's inside the edge. I'm not going to go on the edge. I don't want you looking at an edge. You want to look inside the form. And see, these are all principles. We'll just let this float right into the white one. I see things as I work on the page, you know. That's what's nice about, you know, if you have it in front of you, easier to relate to. You know, you can work from a photo, but you just have to be careful. Just be careful you don't get caught copying. So let's look at, see there's a nice dark. By the way, I'm going to show you another close up here. See if you can see what I just did there. Pulled out those sharp highlights and then the reflected lights. See that reflected light in there? Okay. Hope you can see that all right.
Yeah, looks great.
Thanks. So we want to go really dark here. See, the deepest darks are in the center of the bouquet. Maybe I can show you that. I'm going to do this to show you the subject here. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a real deep dark right in the center there. There's actually a nice dark right underneath. And so we'll show you how we do that, or how I think about that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know, we're talking like accents, you know, from on the scale of white to black. We're at the bottom here. We're at the darkest dark. And that, you know, what are your darkest darks? Could be phthalo green with alizarin crimson, you know, anything really deep and dark. And that's what I'm going to put in there, phthalo green with alizarin. And it goes right in the center because, you know, wherever the deepest shadow is, that's where it's going to go. And it's the same with the tree. It goes right in the center of the tree. It goes way in there. Nice depth. See, so I'm really building to these darks and the lights. You got to be careful. You don't want this everywhere. Okay, now I think I need. I need a dark. And this leaf here. I want this to go back. So we'll do that. And there's another one coming up here that I think is okay. You know, to decide, do I really want that or not? So maybe we'll put one in here. Just because it's up there doesn't mean I have to change it. Only if it adds to the composition. And see, I think I'll put some shadow on the leaf as it goes under that flower there. Okay, let's talk about this design here. You know, that's whatever they call these, a blue and white base, you know. So I'll use ultramarine blue and draw that in there. You know, it doesn't have to be just the way it is there. It can be whatever I want it to be. Take my drawing brush, you know, my sable here. And we'll draw. So this goes around. Kind of what's good to do. Payne's gray with this blue is kind of nice, you know. Payne's gray is a blue black. I don't know. There's some people don't like black. I don't know what you use there. Maybe you'd use violet. You know, make a violet. Not the same, but you know. So this is going this way. Just draw it in here. Put another line here. And then this will go this way. I'm only getting one stroke out of this paint, you know. You gotta put it on and leave it. That's like a butterfly here. So that's going that way. You have to paint with a loaded brush because I put the, you know, I painted that grace wet into wet. So it's you know, you need really a loaded brush for this. If it was, this was dry and I was painting on it, it'd be very thin. Paint would be very thin instead of thicker. So let's see, this is gonna go, well, this is tricky. See, this is gonna go like that. And then this is going to go around like this. And we can make it do whatever we want. We'll put that there, put this here. Get some more paint. You know, and hopefully, you know, as it develops, it comes to life, hopefully. There's a little tulip here. That. And there's kind of a, I don't know what that shape is. We'll just make a shape here. You know, I've done commissions, I've done portraits, sort of portraits of objects for people, you know, from their houses. They might want a certain vase in their floral painting, and then I have to be more accurate, you know. If I put a design in it. It just depends what we want to do. This is lighter, so I can blend it in here. And then this goes around the back. That goes there, that goes there. Then down here, this is swinging out that way. And it goes like that. And that goes there. See, there is, well, there are two curved lines here. So, you know, ellipses, it's part of an ellipse, and ellipses aren't easy. This comes down here. Got to pick it up a little darker again. And it's better. And then if this comes this way, got a little design there, little design here. And this goes that way. Now, see, I said that base, we had to paint it like oh, it's a blue gray. So a highlight on there can be white. So I want to be able to see the highlights of it. So it has to be pure white. Let's see, it should come out. I don't know if you'll see it in this light, but in order to get the quality of porcelain, so you have to have the highlights coming up pure white. By the way, this, I see this is picking up more light here. I'm going to add that. Okay. Okay. Now see, I put some petals on the table, and I like to do that because it gives it some light. So you know, there's a, I'll do gray first. Here's our middle gray. Go back to that middle idea. Go to the middle. And here's a middle blue gray over here. I think I'm going to put another blue gray over here. You know, an odd number is better than an even number. And you, I'm sure you all heard that one before. And so we need a shadow over there. I think I'll just use some raw umber to lay it down. So we'll just put it right underneath that petal there, a little bit under there. And we'll put some under here. Little shadow there. And so now I need to pull the light out. So I'm going to take pure white. And we're going to hit this. Pull it out. See, the light's coming from the left. So my light source is from the left. So it's going to hit that. And that's why I put the white flower on the right. I wouldn't put a white flower on the left here. Because we're going away from the light. That's going away from the light. You know, we're either going towards the light or away from the light. You always have to ask yourself that. Am I going towards the light or am I going away from the light? I'm going to leave that the way it is. I don't know if I'm going to put those handles on. I don't really have to do that. So I don't want to do that. Now I think what I'm going to do is go around and just sharpen up a couple of these. You know, the more you know, focus on the finish. This is a real quick job here, but see, there's more light right there. I like the light coming in here. See, pull that out a little bit more. I'll tell you what else you can do here. We can take a little pink and put it on top of those blue flowers. Take a little cad red light with white in it. And why would I do that? Because it gives you a little more color vibration, even a little more depth. So it's not, you know, it's not just blue. Think of that pink as part of the atmosphere also. You know, think of it too. Say you're painting outdoors, the landscape. There's pink in the sky on the horizon, and so we want to get that into the grass and into everything. We can use the same principle here. It's just like, you know, grass isn't just green. You know, the flower doesn't have to be just blue. We'll put a little bit of pink in here. So I'm going to put just a little touch in here too. See, I'm putting it where the light would go, where the light hits. You don't put it in the shadow, you put it in the light. And I'm also going to put it on the green leaf, on top of that green. I'm going to show you another thought. Here's my pure gray. I'm going to put this on the edge of the leaf. It turns it away from the eye. Turns it away. I'll take a darker gray. I can take a blue gray. The blue goes away. Put that on the edge of that leaf. Turns it away. Goes right away from the eye. Like that. I'm going to take just a little bit more. I think I'm going to pull this out. Pull this out into the light a little bit. And that'll take me right to that. I'm going to give you another close-up of this thing. Just like that.
Really nice.
Thanks.
So Jim, are you winding down on this at this point?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. I want to show you another floral painting though, okay?
Okay.
And I want to explain something with my stick here. Follow me here. Okay. This one here.
Oh my.
This has a lot in it. See, here's the motion. It's like an S that comes right through here.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my design. And then you see I have the white flowers. And they move out to the pink and the red and around here the blues and violets. So I have this feeling, you know, this is going away. Colors are getting cooler. Keep the warm colors here, and you're following the light. See.
Mm-hmm.
And the table, by the way, that's yellow ochre value. There's no white in that. So that looks bright because these values are darker. So, you know, that's a whole different concept as far as more color. That's all. Just has more color. The concepts are the same, just has more color. Does anybody have any question about this?
Well, I was thinking if you could explain a little bit about, I know this whole Zoom thing is new for all of us, but how are you planning on conducting you have the first week is going to be still life and the second week's to be landscape. So how are you planning on doing this? Should we bring references? Are you going to have distributed photo that maybe is the still life or the landscape? How are you going to do this?
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted a still life or a floral. Do you want a still life?
Oh, well, floral is fine. It's just not a landscape, I guess. Not a landscape.
Yeah, we'll do a
Not
landscape
animals.
too. We'll do a landscape too.
Well, the landscape, what we've advertised, Jim, is that the first week is still life flowers and the second week is landscapes. So
Okay.
I don't know how you want to conduct this. If you want to, because, you know, we can't be looking at a demo and the image of the still life at the same time. So if you have a setup, you want to send an image to
I'm gonna
us and
do that.
we can email that out to the people who want to do this.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't know what works best for you.
that's what I'll do. I'm gonna send you an image and then you could sketch it out. You can even start working on it if you want. But I thought I would start it, like I'd paint the background, then you paint the background,
Yeah.
and then I block in, and then you block in, the subject, and then we bring it all up together.
Okay, that sounds great. So what, so over the next day or so, I'll look for a photo from you
Yeah, yeah,
of
I'm
your
gonna
setup.
email you a photo of a floral still life.
Yeah,
I think we'll put, an object or two along with the flowers,
sure.
and then we'll do a landscape. So I'll send you images, and then you can have them all. If you want, you can have them sketched out, or wait till we start. We'll start together.
Right.
Whatever.
But I'll get them sent out to the people who register.
Good. Yep. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. So, yeah,
Okay.
so next day or two. So the first week we've advertised, like I said, the 19th, we've
Yes.
advertised as still life flowers,
Uh,
which could
uh,
have, grapes or whatever. I know you had grapes in that one thing. And the 26th will be landscapes. So maybe send a landscape that you plan on having us kind of paint along with you. That would be great.
okay. That's what we'll do. Maybe it'll be an experiment for all of us.
Well, I think this whole thing is an experiment for all of us, but I found these Zoom classes actually work pretty well. So,
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I look forward to it.
It's so good for our brains to keep having to figure out something new, even though it's about things we kind of already know something about. So the Zoom and all the different ways people do Zoom, it's just making us smarter.
yeah.
But I love the high pressure paint along. I find it invigorating, and it's not always well, but this one didn't turn out too badly.
Oh, you did it. Look at that. Well, let me
I did it, yeah.
let me spotlight you here so we can
Okay. I didn't have a primed canvas, though. It was white, so oh, it's
Oh,
blurry
okay,
though.
look at that.
wow. Painted along. Wow.
Good for
Great.
Yeah,
you.
my face is a little cattywampus, but I'm never very good at that. But yeah, I mean, you'll be able to see it better if it wasn't fuzzy, but
Well, yeah,
but
you
yeah,
didn't.
not too bad. That was pretty fun. And this is
Yeah.
acrylic. I don't have any oils. My studio is in my bedroom, so I don't paint with oils in my bedroom.
Yeah, smart idea.
Well, that's great because you didn't have it. You didn't have
That
the
was fun.
subject
That was really
on it.
fun.
Oh, good.
That
Yeah.
was that. It is a little tricky. I think that's what Jan's asking. If you can't see the still life, we saw it those couple times, and then I was just kind of doing what you were doing,
Uh-huh. Well, great.
imagining it. And I made up my own vase. Like I didn't
Yeah,
couldn't see the
sure.
vase, so I just did my own little thing.
Yeah.
Good.
But no, that was fun. That was really fun.
Well,
Right.
good.
So
I like it.
we'll plan on doing that. And so pick a still life setup and send me an image and pick a landscape
I
that
will.
you want to have us paint along with you and send that. Now, we also have said, I think I'm going to take this off about pastel. We're going to concentrate on oil for this one, right? We're not going to talk about pastel. I know you have in the past, and when we're all together, you can do that, but it's too
Yeah,
difficult. I think.
the principles are the same.
The principles are,
Yeah,
but you're not going to demo in pastel. It's all going to be,
yeah, it'll be oil, but if you want sometime, I could demo in pastel,
yeah,
sometime.
well, maybe for the fall, we'll set up a class that's more along the pastel line. That would be fine. I mean,
Okay,
we've done that with you in the past. Now,
yeah.
also, Jim, you have your own mailing list and you're following. So have you told them about this class that you're teaching for us?
No, I didn't know whether I was supposed to. I
Oh,
can.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I've got hundreds of names. I'll send it out.
Yeah, send it out to your following, because I know when we had you, when we were doing in-person classes, we had people attending that I didn't know, and they were, I think, your following that came to the class. And so we're all up for that. That's perfect.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I could have let them know about tonight, huh? I didn't know if this was closed or not.
No, no, it's open to the public. So I will send
Oh.
you a link to the recording
Okay,
and then, or Annie, you'll send it to me and then I'll send it on.
Okay.
And then, you know, your students that I know you have a whole bunch of people that follow you and your students, please invite them. They can watch this certainly, and then please invite them. Tell them to go to, you know, www.mcmurrayartleague.com.
okay,
And I'll send that to you as well when I send you the link and
great, great.
have them register. And, you know, we're happy to have as many people as we can handle. Can certainly do a lot more through Zoom and then you can do in the classroom.
Boy, I'll say, that would be great. if we
Oh,
could do that.
absolutely. We're happy to have everybody.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
I also have to say that you're so soothing to listen to. I felt like I was a mix of Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers,
Mr. Rogers.
but better paintings, and it was so nice. You can't possibly mess up because everything sounds so nice. So I really find you very soothing to listen to while you're instructing as well. I don't know if you've got the Mr. Rogers comment before, but it was just striking me in a very caring Mr. Rogers kind of way.
Well,
And I
thanks
liked
a
it.
lot. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, no, you're definitely Mr. Rogers.